As Ronda Rousey continues to prepare for her August 1 bout during a training session, well, let's just say a very special guest happened to crash the party in the form of former heavyweight champion Mike Tyson. I'm John Brickley. Brian Martin was at that training session when this all went down. He joins us now on the phone. And Brian, what more can you tell us?
It was a really surreal experience to see those two together. I've seen Ronda train several times, but to see him walk in and it was clear as he watched her. He was such a fan. He was really taking it in, studying her as she trained, and you could tell he really appreciated it. He really was just bemused. He just had this look on his face. It was almost like a child in wonderment as she was sparring. She was doing judo, and she was throwing her judo coach, Justin Flores. She did some sparring with her trainer, Edmund Tarverdian. So he really seemed to be enjoying himself.
One of the things that a lot of people like to make the comparisons of with Mike Tyson and Ronda Rousey is how quickly they're able to dominate their opponent early in their fights. You can go back to when Tyson was the former heavyweight champion. I think it was 6 of 7 opponents at one time he was able to knock out within the first 2 rounds. And we know Rousey's certainly resume speaks for itself. But president of the UFC in Dana White made an interesting comparison. He said, "Never have I seen in combat sports in the last 30 years 2 individuals that dominated their sport so convincingly in those combat sports." Would you agree with that assessment by White, both for Rousey and for Tyson?
I would, and I think it's kind of interesting because obviously Tyson would go in there and just try to destroy people. I think one of his famous quotes was he would love to try to, whether he meant it seriously or not, but basically punch them in the nose and have their nose, everything go back up into their brain. He was just going there to destroy. Ronda, on the other hand, after all her years in judo, she is so hardwired to finish her opponent in the quickest, most efficient way possible. And her understanding of positioning and just a feel for her opponent and how to get that opponent down is unlike, to me, any other MMA fighter. And she can put someone on their back in an instant, and almost any male or female, I feel like. So there are similarities there in the quick finishes, but I think it's just the mentality is a little different. Really
great perspective from Brian Martin on really the ultimate debate in fighting sports history. Who is better and who's made the better impact, Ronda Rousey or Mike Tyson? An endless debate around sports circles.